Hey guys, welcome back to more Valiant Hearts, The Great War. We're going to be learning more historical facts today. Of course, we're going to be doing this.
On April 22nd, 1915, chlorine gas was used for the first time by the Germans.
And it is the most... It's the worst thing about this war, was gas attack. But we're now going to hear about the Battle of Ypres. Ypres was a key strategic point in Belgium, especially for the British. It was a gateway to the north, and thus to Britain. Canadian troops were deployed in the front line, and they proved their endurance and dependability in combat to the Allies. 6,000 Canadian lives were lost in the battle in April 1915. Now, I want to say something. I went to Canada recently, and I went to a military museum, and they have this, these incredibly detailed battlefield, what are they called, terrains, essentially. I don't remember what they're actually called, displays. Big displays, right? They are incredibly detailed, and a lot of them are, like, really well made. There's actually portraits of some of the people from these battles there as well, like commanders and other stuff like that, and there's also letters. It's really nice. I will post a link to that military museum in Canada. If any of you people are interested and might go to Canada, you should totally check it out. It's awesome. So yeah. And finally, we'll learn about the first gas attack. April 22nd, 1915 at Ypres came the first gas attack in history. 5,730 cylinders of chlorine were opened by the Germans. In favorable winds, chlorine gas caused burns to the eyes, skin, and lungs, even through clothes and rubber boots. The effects were devastating. The only defense found by the Canadians was to cover their nose with urine-soaked handkerchiefs. Yes. This is something we should learn from World War I, that we should never use chemical weapons against our foes. And sadly, it's something that some countries out there still use chemical weapons. And it's a horrible thing. Anyway.
Go, go, go!
Yeah, we got some diaries which you guys can go ahead and... There's a thing here. So the dog tag, yep, Canadian identification tag. At the start of the war, Canadian identification tags were formed by a large aluminum disc, which was because they were an emergency issue and unique shape. They were soon replaced by standard British tags, and those were those of all British Empire forces. So essentially, these are dog tags. So we have to bring him down, it looks like.
What? Allez. What?
No, damn it. I don't want you going any further.
Hey, what? 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 Yeah! Come on, man! Emil!
Alright, here we go. Urine-soaked cloth. The only defense against a gas attack before masks were introduced was to cover the nose with an urine-soaked handkerchief. Urine reacts with chlorine directly in the handkerchief to form less noxious products, limiting the effects. It was not the most hygienic solution, but it was always better than a lungful of hydrochloric acid. So, yes. Zeppelin, okay. We will not be getting into that until I think pretty much up here.
Come on, Emil, let's get out of here.
Gas canister deployment strategy. Gas canister deployment strategies were simple, but they did depend on weather, especially on winds. Gas use required a constant downwind towards the enemy lines to avoid the gas returning to its sender. Any battle plans were therefore dependent on weather forecasts. Alright, so yeah, that'll work now. Zeppelin bombardment. Zeppelins were invented in the 1900s. Were invented in the 1900s by German Count von Zeppelin, but the first long-distance flight didn't take place until 1908. Zeppelins weren't much slower than the aircraft of the period and were first used in reconnaissance. They could also fly at higher altitudes, so from 1915 they were used to bomb civilians in London and Paris. Okay.
Emil, hurry up! What? Hey, what?
What's that? A Belgian shako? Belgian army distinctive shako resembled the top hat with a brim replaced by a visor. The shako was replaced by the yesser cap, a soft cap with flaps that could be pulled down over the ears. The cap was called the yesser because Belgian soldiers mass behind the river yesser to hold off the German advance. I don't think that's how that's pronounced, but whatever.
Let's see. What? Help me, Emil!
Oh, I did not know I could do it like that.
Thank you, my friend. You in? Don't worry.
Pocket watch. Time was an important factor in soldiers' lives, and the military strategies for attacks and rolling barrages were based on tight chronological. I cannot say that word. It's sync. I can't do it. Pocket watches were the only way to tell the time.
Emil, get out of here!
Her name was Anna, a Belgian student living in Paris. She was hard on the trail of her missing father. For once, fate smiled on them. They were all going in the same direction. But while approaching Vimy, a German squadron spotted them.
Oh, right, now we have this. There's no historical facts here. We're just gonna be able to sit through this now. I guess I could talk about the music, but I don't know the music at all. Problem is, I probably have heard this music before, I just can't remember the name of it and who composed it.
Allez, allez. Emile, allez!
What? Allez, oui.
Just in case I need another one. Damn it.
Merci, Walt.
Oh, is there historical facts here? Alright, the trenches. Between the sides, there was an imbalance in trench conditions. After securing a head start in trench constructions, the Germans reinforced them with iron and concrete, while the Allies had to wallow in mud. The Allies' changeover policy maybe contributed to this. Allied soldiers had 7-day shifts on the front, whereas German soldiers were allocated a specific zone for indeterminate period, giving them a chance to settle in. Yeah, so essentially what would happen with this is you would have 7 days in this area, and then you would move to another area almost immediately with the Allies. But with Germans, they would stay on this front for a certain amount of days, but it was specified. Normally, it was quite long. Essentially, you'd be around there for a while. Okay, the Labyrinth. Vimy and Neuve Saint-Vaast were two positions the Germans were quick to fortify. Here they built the Labyrinth, a complex network of trenches and tunnels connected to an underground sleeping quarters. Allied armies unsuccessfully attempted to seize this key position on numerous occasions. Due to the huge number of casualties in late 1915, the position was declared impregnable. Periscope. To observe enemy trenches without drawing fire, officers and soldiers used periscopes, mirrors mounted in a tube that could be raised above the parapet with no risk to health. I have no idea if I'm safe across here.
Hey, what?
Los!
Okay, I see what I need to be doing right now, though.
What? Hey, what? Allez, oui. C'est bien. What? Allez, Walt. Allez. What? Allez.
In the occasional frame drop, it seems.
Allez, oui. Hey, hey.
No idea why I'm getting a little bit of frame drop. Anyway,
What? Ah.
go in there. See, that's where I fucked up. I was looking for that hole.
What? Allez, vas-y.
There's a real question.
Yes,
Can I
you
throw
are.
this at this item up here to see what this is? Because there is something up here. I guess not. Yeah, no idea why I'm getting frame drop there. Sorry for the frame drop, guys. And nobody heard that.
What? 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 Hey, hey.
What is this? A letter? Alright, letter from a German soldier. 21st of April, 1915. Dear Andrea, we've been stuck down this hole since January, and I can't stand anymore. I'm sick to the back teeth with living like a rat. I really miss life as it was before, strolling beneath the linden trees with you. I even miss working in the factory. All my love, your Dieter? I think it's pronounced Dieter. Probably an actual letter from history. I already know what I'm going to do with this. Whoops. I did not do that. Tin of sardines. Soldiers were all fed by their respective armies, but they also received parcels from back home to improve their daily lot. Tins of fish, or pate, gave them more copious nutritional meal than their daily army fare. Right, we got that. British coins. While the war raged on, life continued in the economy too. The war economy was composed of both barter and currency systems. Soldiers purchased provisions in town using their pay. In 1914, the pay of the British private in a line regiment was 1 shilling a day, the standard king shilling. Obligatory deductions were made for a wife and children, 6 pence for the wife and 1 pence a day for each child. Nowadays, 1 shilling has an estimated purchase power of about $3.21 GBP, $5.42 United States. In 1971, the shilling was replaced by the 5 pence coins thanks to the... I need to get out of this because it's so loud.
What?
When you figure out a fucking puzzle in one go. I have played this game once before, but I have forgotten all the puzzles, so... Hang on. Memorial... Oh! We should have read this earlier. Memorial to the Moroccan Division. The Moroccan Division was... whose motto was No Fear, No Mercy, combined soldiers from across French colonial Africa and the Foreign Legion. The division included Moroccan Zouaves, Tunisian and Algerian infantrymen. In 1915, the division seized Vimy Ridge, but in the absence of backup from Battalion HQ, they were forced to retreat after 2 days. The Moroccan Division is the only division whose flags were decorated with the Legion of Honor. Anyway, should have read this earlier, because I think that guy we saved was part of that division. Anyway, naval cannons. Naval cannons were capable of firing heavy-duty 800-pound shells. Due to their weight, they were mounted on special rails for transport to firing platforms. In the event of a retreat, artillerymen were instructed to destroy the cannons rather than let them fall into enemy hands.
Skin are bad.
Baron von Dorf had escaped again, but Emil had still managed to find medicine for Freddy.
Thank you, my friend.
They were quickly back on the road again. Their journey would take them to Reims, where they would at last pick up the trail of the elusive Baron and his Zeppelin.
Alright, so I think I will actually end it here. Last episode I felt was a little bit too long, so I'm going to end it here now. We'll see you in the next episode, which will be next Wednesday. Hope you guys enjoy. See you guys next time.